Interesting questions, mainly on the issue of equality, or how to interpret the principle of equality, as we can understand. All bases of democratic elections, all the cornerstones, not only the equality, are interrelated. We have to admit to other principles of fundamental rights as well. Next on our agenda is the presentation by Mr. Kobakhidze, who is working for the IFAS currently in Ukraine, but is active in the organization in general on civic education. So his presentation will be on the topic civic education and equal suffrage in the digital age, please.
Thank you very much. I had a few slides. I'm not sure if we're able to put them up at this time. But otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues, good afternoon. As was mentioned, my name is Kobakhidze. I am the Deputy Country Director for the International Foundation for the International Foundation elections in Ukraine. And I am also the technical lead on civic education for IFAS. On behalf of IFAS, I would like to extend my sincere thanks and gratitude to the organizers, the Permanent Electoral Authority of Romania, as well as the Venice Commission, Council of Europe, and to all of the participants for what is said to be an inspiring and stimulating conference. I am truly honored today to have the opportunity to speak with you about the ever-relevant and critical relationship between three topics: civic education, the pursuit and defense of equality, and the survival of our digital democracies. Had I heard the opening remarks earlier, I may have changed my title to Pursuing Equality in a World of Inequality. Now, I acknowledge that the time I have allotted will only allow me to broach the tip of this iceberg, but I hope that by the end, I will have left you with one or two thoughts to ponder. Over the past decade, our electoral democracies have and will continue to face old and new challenges. Challenges that test the resolve of citizens and the fortitude of long-standing institutions, norms, and values. Today, media references about the health of our democracies and inclusive politics are reading increasingly more like obituaries. The overall net decline of democracy over the past decade, as documented by Freedom House and others, contrasted by the rise of populism and exclusionary politics, and compounded by social media's ever-expanding data sets and fine-tuned algorithms about our preferences and desires, equates to a new reality for our modern democracies. A reality where exclusionary politics, which is a harbinger for exclusionary elections, can be deployed and manipulated on a level that far surpasses anything that has yet to be seen by our civilization. If citizens ignore long-standing democratic principles and norms, identity politics can and will fill this vacuum. And today, more than ever before, technology can be used with surgical precision to achieve this end. This then increases the risk to and vulnerability of minorities and those who already face challenges to full enfranchisement, including persons with disabilities and internally displaced communities. While there's certainly no single answer that will address the perceived or actual ebb of democracy globally, it is becoming increasingly more evident that there is simply no substitute for an informed, engaged, and civically minded citizenry. A citizenry that values equality and defends diversity. In order for nations to weather the storms and threats that are presented to democracy in the digital age, they must be equipped with the skills to manage the reality of oversaturation and disinformation, while possessing and defending fundamental, foundational values of equality, a bedrock to universal and equal suffrage. This then presents an important question. Where, when, and how do citizens develop the ability to defend their own and others' rights, to value diversity, to champion equal opportunities, and to play an active part in democratic life? While there is no single answer, simply posing the question reminds us that democratic citizens are not born, they are made. And today, with history as a reminder of the consequences of inaction, we must continuously ask ourselves if our citizens are sufficiently prepared and equipped to face the challenges that are associated with democracy in the digital age. One approach to answering this question is realized through a careful review of the status and effectiveness of a nation's strategies, curricula, and plans that relate to civic education for democratic citizenship. The Council of Europe defines democratic citizenship education, which I will paraphrase, as education, training, awareness-raising, information, practices, and activities that have three overarching objectives. One is to empower citizens to exercise and defend their democratic rights and responsibilities. Two, to value diversity. And three, to play an active part in democratic life with a view to the promotion and protection of democracy and the rule of law. In recognition of the vital role that civic education for democratic citizenship plays in our modern democracies, and in response to the growing threats that I have mentioned earlier, IFES works across the globe with election management bodies, ministries, academia, media, and civil society to design and implement such programming. This programming is designed specifically to strengthen the skills and knowledge that are key for mindful democratic citizenship in the digital age, while fostering democratic values and attitudes. In Ukraine, these efforts are supported by USAID, Global Affairs Canada, and UK aid from the UK government, and have translated into an innovative university-level civic education course named Democracy from Theory to Practice. The course, which will be piloted this year at Ukrainian universities, is based on IFES's global university-level civic education methodology named SEED, Strengthening Engagement Through Education for Democracy. It was through SEED that IFES in 2011 introduced a university-level civic education course in Georgia that is currently offered at the majority of accredited universities in the country. In both Georgia and in Ukraine, SEED methodology utilizes a three-pronged approach to address the areas that I noted earlier. The first is to strengthen knowledge. And to do this, IFES develops country-specific course material and curricula that is designed to build a foundational understanding of human rights, good governance, civil society, the role of citizens in a democracy, and their engagement. Cross-cutting themes of the course include many of the concepts we're discussing today: equality, inclusivity, media literacy, minority rights, and digital participation. Parallel to this, IFES offers trainings to Georgian and Ukrainian university professors on introducing interactive civic education teaching methodology into the classroom, which transforms the traditional lecture-style environment into a student-centered classroom. Lastly, throughout the semester, students are challenged to craft their own civic action projects. This approach enables students to take on problems in their own communities, problems that they themselves choose or that themselves care about, whether they are addressing gender inequality or the protection of minority rights. This approach puts students in the driver's seat and challenges them to think critically about their role in fostering democratic change as opposed to waiting for others to do it. IFAS's research conducted over a span of 7 years demonstrates that individuals benefit greatly from these types of interactive civic education offerings, whether it's through formal school curriculum or through informal opportunities. These benefits include the development of some of the skills that we heard earlier today, including critical thinking, considering the ability to consider issues from multiple perspectives, consensus building, and the ability to make informed, fact-based decisions and arguments. All the while strengthening core values such as equality, the common good, diversity, and justice. As noted by philosopher and educator John Dewey, democracy has to be born anew every generation. And we believe that education is democracy's midwife. With the rise of populism and identity politics, state institutions, including education ministries and election management bodies, will be increasingly challenged to carefully consider whether existing civic education offerings adequately respond to the modern-day needs of our democracies. And through this process, these institutions will also be challenged to ponder their own roles in ensuring that citizens are equipped with the skills, knowledge, and values that are foundational to safeguarding the democratic principles that are the core of our ever-evolving democracies. So thank you very much for your attention, and I look forward to continuing this discussion in this beautiful place with all of you.